Now we got a problem.
Now we got a problem.
Yeah.
I knew you were listening.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then you gotta do
I
that.
don't know.
So we do.
After all the years
So
of
we're not
driving
gonna
on
move that.
four, through, yeah, it's
For what day?
around Nashville.
Next meeting.
We find
Oh.
this is good, we just go across.
You know what, guys, you can't move it, because I already started the next agenda, I've got stuff on there, it's like, it's not gonna work for me, okay?
Tom, scratch that, I'm fine for the 20th, I was thinking wrong week.
I have no problem. Yeah, the rest of us have a crap ton of faith in that.
Yeah,
See, Lori, you got your wish. Way to be demanding.
I mean, I started to get upset.
that's why I was like, wait.
I'm just kidding. It would've
Sure, I got
been
it.
just-
You're good.
Nobody
You
on.
gotta turn the back, is the back, if you turn it on the back.
I'm a little bit there.
But you know, I turned those on,
It is on.
so.
There's nobody online right now, so.
Yeah, I saw it flicker and then it just went off.
I'd like to officially call this meeting of the Montford City Council to order, first one for the month of February. And the first item on the agenda is, everybody's got their microphones on, is to talk about the agenda and for approval. And I think Councilperson West has something here.
I do, I would like to table item D4 on the consent agenda.
Okay.
A little bit of explanation.
Yeah, I've just been doing some more research in the business, and I didn't really have time today to look into the details. I'm about 3/4 the way there, so I just don't feel comfortable making a decision yet, which is why I wanted to table it. Thank you. Okay.
And the Happy Days connection in the, that was on the printed issue of the agenda is not accurate also.
Correct.
That's why I sent out the second one,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
updated, yeah, yes.
So
When do they need it by? When are they opening? I saw that they were moving in, so I
Honestly,
go by.
I have not given any information, so I'm uncertain on
Yeah.
that, so I think it's.
But we have time, probably.
Yes, we do.
I would, I think that's a prudent move.
Next to
Yeah.
chameleons.
I'm assuming that's a motion, Stephanie?
Yes, it is.
And is there a second?
So seconded.
What were grades?
Give it to
That's what Lori just said.
Mark here. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with that one change. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Motion does pass. Communications. Anybody here to speak to any item on the agenda or not on the agenda? Nathan, are you here to talk to anybody about anything? Otherwise, we're gonna keep moving on here. We need to officially act on the consent agenda, what's left of it. Is there any questions for staff about that? Otherwise, are we ready to move forward?
I move approval of the consent agenda as amended.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
Scott. Moved and seconded to move forward with the amended consent agenda. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item I, old business, discussion and consideration of additional derecho cleanup expenses. Council action is needed. Tabled a meeting ago.
So yeah, we tabled this one a couple of times and asked the contractor to go back and look at their invoice, just to make sure it's an accurate representation of hours worked and the equipment used. The contractor confirmed that amount, so staff would recommend moving forward the expenses.
And what was the final amount?
Let's see, wasn't it 42?
Well, so I sent the original invoice out.
Are the speakers really hot? It's kind of windy. Sorry, just up here. Sorry, am I the only one hearing you? Okay.
So I wanted to.
It might.
Well, you know, I did turn the speakers on, and typically when I touch anything, it doesn't work right.
So
So
that may very well be.
here I am trying to be nice.
Right. But
Scott's question.
approximately 42.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I was prepared to give a bit of an explanation on this. I had quotes given to me early on, I think, I had 3 different quotes. One for grinding our current, what would have been our current mulch pile, or brush pile. And then trommeling what we had left over from our compost prior, and then the derecho pile. so they gave me quotes on that, which was, basically it was like $12,000 plus for all the piles except for the derecho pile, they gave me an hourly rate. So there's no time associated with that. So the discrepancy is in that time. I really think they could have been a lot more efficient with that, and I called him on it, and he went through his time cards and talked to his staff, and basically just said, no, that's what it is. And we had staff out there helping as well, helping them move that material, so they were witnessing things too, so I don't know what else to do other than not use them again.
So it was originally about 12,000, what did the final come in at, 14?
42.
42.
Well, so that was,
12,000.
so that was for the,
Right.
for the original piles,
Yeah.
other than the derecho pile. So then after they did the derecho pile, which was trommeling, dozer work, no grinder, of course, they originally sent me an invoice for $36,612.50. And then about 2 weeks later, after I was questioning what was going on, they sent me another invoice for $10,000 saying that some paperwork was sitting on the desk that they did not, some employees' time cards or whatever were still, from that job, were still sitting there. So again, I was already outraged at the first invoice, and then we get another one tacked on, another 10,000 tacked on that. So I haven't been happy with that whole situation. They were there, they did do a good job, they did what we needed them to do, and they got on it right away for us, which was the big kicker, because we were running into late fall and trying to get that done before it froze. So I feel like this is a lot of my fault, but,
The work had to be done.
I was just
And,
Yeah.
so I'd like to move to approve the cleanup expenses not to exceed $47,000. Okay?
I'm sorry.
I said not to exceed 47,000.
The 36,612 plus 10.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And on the flip side of that, unless we have another natural disaster, we're not gonna have that much material that we're gonna
Right.
have to deal with. We can go back to, now that we have all of that material that far processed, we'll be able to go back to our normal kind of procedure that we started doing, just with the rental of a trommel machine and just doing our compost like we do normally every year, so. Yeah, hope this is a one-time thing. I'm hoping.
Take a motion from Stephanie.
And I'll second.
Go ahead, Scott.
Scott. Now is there any further discussion?
It's bad.
Well, thanks, Eldon. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
there were lessons learned, and I appreciate that you are moving forward that way.
Thank you.
Okay, great, it's been moved and seconded to move forward on item I, old business, racial cleanup expense. If there's no further questions to staff, ready to vote on that? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome, you guys, and we're on item J already. Motion for approval, consideration of claims list.
And there is no additional claims list.
And I didn't see one come out, so that's,
So
Yes.
moved.
thank you, Paul. So second.
I'll second that.
Great. Moved and seconded to approve the claims list. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is consideration of setting a public hearing date, for budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year 23-24 at our next meeting. That is the one that's been changed because of President's Day.
Correct.
We did set, giving
Yeah.
approval for that.
Well, and as part of this, because we just wait, no, we're good on the 20th.
We're good.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
No,
Right now we are, yeah.
yeah. In that case, I would move approval of setting the public hearing date for budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year 23-24 to our next February meeting.
Thank you, Scott. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to set that's public hearing. The budget amendment, February 20th meeting. If that's all to with staff, ready to vote on that. Get that notice out to the public. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Police station renovations, change order number 12.
Yeah, so we have change order number 12 for a new metal door, and Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the door that's in the now new conference room.
The new
correct?
training room, correct, it's the exterior door. They left that old one on there throughout construction, so we're gonna replace that one with a metal door insulated, obviously with a slot window. So it'll be accessible, you know, people can see who's knocking on the other side of the door and stuff like that, so it'll be a good enhancement, and obviously the other one needed to be replaced.
And that's in the amount of $3,787.15.
I move approval of change order number 12, the police station renovations as presented.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Stephanie. No other questions of staff? If ready to vote, move forward on that change order number 12. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, change on the police station.
This is the one that Chris talked about before with the replacing the grid, the old grid. Some of it got damaged previously during the construction process, and some of it just looks old, and you can definitely tell when the new grid's next to it, how old, you know, it's put in the 90s or whatever from that standpoint. So some of the place they're able to save the grid and just replace the tiles. The other place where they had the sagging of the grid, they're going to replace the grid and everything through that. So very pleased with their quote, below what we had estimated, so.
And now this brings us up to 1.1 million. Where did we start on that project? I need to go back and look.
1.106,
Yeah, it was the original.
it's on page 19,
Yes,
I believe.
yes.
So that percent of change orders is not that unreasonable, I guess, on an existing piece of.
Yeah, there were some unknowns that we were getting into and still are,
Less
but
than 10%.
Yeah.
we are also hopefully very
Yeah,
close.
I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but Doug, when we first kind of embarked on this, you sent out an email that had a comparison of renovating the existing, at the time, the Mormon church. the
Correct.
Current police station, versus building new.
Correct.
And on a square footage basis, and it was.
We were probably at 30, you know, I'd have to look back at those numbers again, but I wanted to say it was like a third of the cost, or like 33% of the
Yeah,
cost.
it was, I had like,
I wanted
double to triple in my head.
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
I mean, not that we want to go bonkers with the change orders, but
Yep.
in perspective, so.
No,
We're about done here.
Yeah, having said that, I would move approval of change order number 13 in the amount of $9,069.15.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Move and second to move forward with change order number 13 on the police station renovations. No further questions. Ready to vote on that? All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed?
Thank
Motion
you.
carries. Davis Park Ballfield lighting, pay application number 1.
Yeah, so this is pay application number 1, in the amount of $91,010. Currently, those are being stored at Davis Park. There's a pre-construction meeting this Wednesday to kind of figure out a timeline of when we'll have those installed.
You think it's going to be March, April-ish? Or
Hopefully.
It has to be more.
I was like, well, depending, hopefully.
Do we have some games lined up in April?
Oh,
Meetings?
yes.
Okay.
There's some games lined up in April and May already.
Gotta hit the ground running.
But
I think we're gonna be pretty proactive since they already delivered that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have the right equipment here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
Just gotta get it up.
Matt,
Sorry.
when will the second payment come around? Because it's 165,000 total. Is that at the end of the job?
I believe so.
Yes, that's gonna be a hit. And then that number's obviously less the retainage, so the 91,000.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you saw that.
So I just wanted to be clear, this is, we broke the project, the Davis Park renovation project up into lighting is one and, okay.
Yes. We're no longer doing.
We're not doing
concessions right now.
anything right now as far as
Bathrooms.
bathrooms, concessions, bleachers. Yeah, this is just lighting.
That will, as much as the other stuff is needed, this is needed. Having been on that field with, and it was, I mean, it's been a while since I've been out there umpiring and coaching, even then,
Yeah, it's borderline dangerous at this
Yes.
point right now. so.
yes.
Well,
Yeah.
putting that lighting up has been on our CIP since I was on Parks and Rec.
Same. I was just gonna say it's been back.
A dozen years at least, so. it's nice to actually get this moving, so. Unless there's other questions or concerns, I would move approval of pay application number 1 for the Davis Park lighting in the amount of $91,010.
Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Mark. Move to second, move forward with pay application number 1 of the Davis Park ball field lighting project. There are no further questions, we're ready to vote on that. If you're ready, Lori, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Last motion for approval is engagement letter with Ayers Cooney for amendment number 9 of the pool renovations.
Yeah, so Allers County will be working through the urban renewal plan amendment number 9, preparing the amendment and all necessary materials related to the amendment, along with supporting city staff and council throughout the adoption process. Similar to amendment number 8 and 7.
I'd move approval of amendment number 9 for the engagement letter with Ayers County.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah. We have a plan and now plan to finance, I guess. Move to second to move forward with the engagement letter with Ayers Cooney on the pool renovations. No questions, anybody vote on that? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is some discussion items that I asked to be have put on the agenda. One was, first one is about Mumford Community Betterment Foundation. Just to let you know, this is the President Gardner and his wife contributions to establishing a community foundation, and we actually had our first meeting, and I think I sent a copy of the minutes out. And Cedar Rapids Community Foundation mentioned that this is totally new for them too, so we're building a plane while we're flying here. But I just want to let you know that the process is going.
Kind of like bowling.
Yeah, kind of like bowling. It's too easy to say.
Especially for a Collins guy.
Right?
But we've got good representation. We've got Peter Ryan from Cornell, Taryn Coons has got some development background from the University of Iowa and the time there. We've got a good representation of young adults involved with this, and it's moving forward. We're going to have a clarifying engagement meeting like in April, kind of make our final rules of how we're going to operate as a group, and then start taking, ask for contributions, or ask for nonprofits that have an interest in looking for a grant from our group, and then make those decisions after July, at the end of the fiscal year. So that's about all I can tell you there. And if you saw the minutes, and if anybody has any questions about that, either now or later, feel free to let me know about them. Second thing of discussion items to update staff and council on is it's kind of an overarching umbrella of disaster preparedness. And Chief, I don't know if you saw an email today that I think we got about another emergency preparedness on economic disasters, the economic effect of disasters. That there's a session going on in Mount Vernon with Chief of Police, with Cedar Rapids and Marion officers also helping us with this community disaster preparedness. There's just a lot of focus on that lately. I think I referenced the mayor's guide to mass shooting incidents that I got a couple weeks ago. This one that I just got today, that we just got today, I met with a representative from the Iowa Department of the College of Public Health at the University of Iowa on this program, Disaster Prep-Wise, where it's intended for all citizens, all households, but specifically I think we need to highlight people probably that are not as accessible, that are more elderly, that are living by themselves or whatever, to see about going through this staff will actually do a 1-hour interview with them and identify, do you have a go bag type of stuff, or do you have a shelter-in-place type of stuff? I mean, there needs to be 2 different sets of emergency supplies for that. To go through the whole scenario of who can we contact in case of a disaster. It needs to be someone locally, but also someone away if there's a derecho or tornado, whatever. I mean, there's a whole project here. I mean, Chapel View, probably Cottonwood Trails, when we get that open, that might be a market for, 55 and older, for encouraging them to sign up with this. And I'm working with city festivals and working with Matt and with this committees to see about getting space and time during some of these festivals, which may be appropriate or may not be appropriate, to educate the public about both programs, community betterment as well as this public health thing. Some of you who have been on the council for a long time may have remembered something that the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation presented to us 5-6 years ago about a similar type of program. We never really grabbed onto it, but I'm thinking we need to get onto it a little bit more, and I need to communicate with Nate Goodlove with the fire department and with the emergency management group, and probably push it a little harder, because as long as we don't have a disaster, we're lucky, but when we have a disaster, then we take every effort we could to plan ahead to prepare for that disaster and that disaster recovery. There's tools out there. Yes, there may be a pain to have this hour-long interview, and you have in your head what your goal list is your go bag is, and things like that, but actually walking through the process, and they talk about things, dealing with your pets, dealing with things that, power of attorney, There's so many things that I thought I was on top of, but I'm not sure of that at all. So you may be hearing more about it, maybe hear other disaster preparedness. So I just want to let council and staff know that it is in the works.
Tom, I
That's the
appreciate
attitude.
that you're looking into it, because I
Well,
think it's important.
I'm passing stuff off to people now. I just had a conversation with Mark here about something
Yeah.
in sustainability that, and I can't keep up with
Yeah.
literally
There's a lot.
3 different groups on disaster preparedness, and reading the manuals, keeping up with that. So they'll email for it, and meetings for this and meetings for that. But it's all good things. I mean, we're making connections with the right people. I think emergency management loves us. I mean, with all your work, Doug, from years past, and I've been engaging with them, and they appreciate our response.
Engagement, yep.
On one of these, I think it might have been this one from University of Iowa College of Public Health. She said she mailed it to all cities in Lyndon Johnson County, to all mayors. I was the only one that replied back. That were interested in that, felt it was important, and yes, we want to do something about this. Because I don't want to be the one that's, after a disaster, to say, we knew about that.
Well, I would echo Stephanie's thanks to you for riding herd on this, because engaging the community in this kind of issue, or these issues, is very reassuring to the community, because they expect us to have thought through, before anything happens, our plan of action if there is a tornado or a fire or a terrorist attack or fill in the blank. Their expectation is they'll look to the mayor, they will look to the council, they'll look to the staff and say, haven't you thought about this? And so we are thinking about this, and I think that's important.
And this is in addition to all the FEMA classes, and I think I've done better.
ICS and
ICS training. There's a whole lot of fun stuff.
You got a whole other career after.
I got a whole other.
it'll take most of it too.
Graduate degree on this. Disaster preparedness. Jamie didn't tell me about this part. Smart man. So, that's an FYI for everybody. And questions, comments to that, and Doug, I'm sure we'll catch up with you guys at some point on one of these next sessions. Reports of mayor, council administrator. I gave you my report. Any other committee meetings, council meetings that anybody wants to report on? Mr. Craig.
You wanted me to report on the Mount Vernon-Lisbon Child Care group that has been meeting for the last year and a half. And we continue to have momentum, which I think is amazing, after a year and a half. Just as an aside, the child care group, one of its first initiatives was to apply and receive a grant, and it was a 2+1 matching grant, to where we were able to award back in December for childcare agencies additional monies to pay their staff so that they would continue to feel good about the role that they have in offering childcare and potentially as a profession as well. Tom reached out to a woman named Karen Koala, who is the head of the Lynn County Resiliency Office, which is a new office, just started in the last 4 to 6 months. She's a fairly recent graduate from the University of Iowa, graduated in 2022, and is the first person in this position, so is in the process of really writing this position description. And I thought it was important and wise of Tom and others to bring her to Mount Vernon a couple of days ago, where we had lunch with her, just to pick her brain a little bit and talk about the role of resiliency in within the dearth of childcare in Mount Vernon. If a family, let's say that a business burns down, and all of a sudden these parents here are without childcare as a result of something like that, and they can't work. Where do they turn to? And so we were looking at the dearth of childcare as an opportunity to get on her radar and use her resources to try to problem solve around our issues and short and long-term solutions for childcare. It was a good 1-hour lunch meeting. There were about a half a dozen of us there.
10 was ours.
10, yeah, and from the committee, and anyway, it was good that she didn't have anything right away to say, well, this is what I can do, this, and this, but we all have some next steps from that meeting, and I think that we'll continue to keep those lines of communication open. So.
Networking with the county and, resiliency involves disaster preparedness too. I mean, this is the one little niche that we looked at with the childcare.
Yeah, she does a lot of different things.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also in that area, the school district obviously has made a decision with Matt Lehman for a superintendent, and Greg has kind of volunteered Matt, the calendars match up, to have him involved with this committee in some form in the next 6 months, even before he's on contract. But the group felt, the child care group felt that we need to get together like we did 18 months ago with the old police station when we had our first meeting of this group. And a lot of stakeholders, there were 40 people there probably. So a date is set in mid-April. Keynote speaker from the Iowa Women's Foundation. I've made contact with, she's got it on our calendar, we just need to confirm the date. But we are opening it up to not only the people that have been involved with it for this 18 months, but more specifically to Lisbon City Council and Lisbon School Board. And we'll see, I'm still waiting for a response back from them, but at some point we need to make a decision and go with this and share what information is out there, what history is out there with everybody equally. So that's not like some people are in the know and some people aren't in the know and they question this, and you can say that this history, we've already gone down this road or whatever. So that's coming up sometime in April, and I think Craig is working on a location for that, so you'll get an invitation for that. And if it is, and if like everybody here wants to go to that meeting, we will post it, we will do a opening meeting, we'll approve the agenda, and there'll be one topic.
There'll be one, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be discussion, no action, and then the school board may have to go through the same 3 steps, and then the Lisbon City Council may go through the same 3 steps. So it may be an interesting once we get the meeting open, but that's what we'll do if there's a majority of people there.
Tom, I know they had the initial fundraiser in October, and they were asking for the donations through Southeast Lynn. Is that still an ongoing thing through Southeast Lynn, the funding?
Yep, it is.
So if people want to donate, that's always an option, right?
It is.
They just select childcare, I think they're going to donate.
It's easy to do.
That's what I was thinking, okay.
And Cornell College has graciously agreed to host this meeting that Tom referred to in April.
Great.
Anything else to report?
We just had our first streetscape meeting last week, so basically just getting the stakeholders in the same room, going over, just how we're moving forward, so that's well underway. So we'll just be learning more about the dates and everything. We just got an email information is gonna be coming out soon regarding that.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, we're gonna have our Uptown Business Kickoff Meeting, February 27th. We'll be sending information out for that, but I will be meeting with each business before that meeting, just to kind of talk to them about the project, expectations, and just kind of give them a little more information. So I'll be doing that in the next 2 weeks. It'll be you'll see me out and about, and I think Joe will be coming with me to some of those, so we're looking forward to that. But I think as Mark said, I think it was a really good kickoff meeting, we had a good stakeholder group. It was a positive meeting, so looking forward to it.
Because this is such an important project,
Yes.
huge project, how much of presence do you want from the council at these meetings, if we can make it? I don't want to overwhelm, if we're all there
So,
at these meetings, but
right, so when we selected the stakeholder/advisory group, we chose to do one council member and mayor.
yeah, and Mark,
But aside from that, anyone is welcome to come to these meetings. We don't want to overwhelm
Of
the
course.
meeting, obviously, but you guys are more than welcome to be at these meetings. I mean, this is a community effort, and we want everyone there that wants to attend,
well, let us know
and I'm happy to send them.
if you think we really need to have more of a presence, because it is very, very important for the
Yes.
town.
And I'll also get on you on that email group, because there's a SharePoint website that JEO has created.
Yeah.
So you will get the weekly updates, and then when we have our monthly meetings, you're welcome to attend those. If you don't, those updates will also be on there. So you can get
For those of us that are not on the committee, or
Yes.
maybe you could just carbon copy,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Yes.
great.
so we know when things are
No
happening.
problem.
Um,
Yep.
If
Yes,
we're
and
gonna
I
get
planned on
questions.
that, this first meeting was just kind of like getting that advisory and stakeholder
Perfect.
group together. But after this,
Perfect.
I want it to be super transparent, that it's so important, so that you will be getting a lot of emails, whether you want it or not.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Well, and I appreciate that you're taking the time to meet with each of them
Yes.
individually. I think that is so important because they all have, different opinions, and sometimes you don't, when people are in a large group setting,
Yes.
sometimes they're not willing to share or don't feel like they can be open, and I just think that's really great that you're doing that.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks, Mark, for stepping up.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think from the first step in this whole process, everybody's been about communication. The more communication we have, the more understanding everybody has, and again, that we're transparent with.
Yeah.
So,
As you know, at the CDG meeting that we had on the Entrepreneurs event, signage came up again, and it is very top of mind, just especially, some of those business owners, and I can completely understand why. And, I feel the need to address it, but we also have to make the timing right, and I hope that, they will participate in that too.
They are coming out, we just got word on Friday, that they're gonna start doing the street topo this week, Wednesday through Friday, so you'll see survey crew uptown here.
Topo?
Topographics.
You get more than 2 syllables.
Basically,
Engineer speak.
So, but I was lost in 2 syllables.
Although, to be fair, you threw out dearth a couple of times.
when you said that, I was thinking the same thing, but I chose not to say anything. So yeah, you'll see them out and about this weekend. Eldon and Alex are gonna kind of walk around and give them some of the highlights of areas of concern this week as they're here, so looking forward to that. They said that they're gonna take advantage of the nice weather, so.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for leading this, Lori.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of surveyors, I saw Pierre Graham out at the
Oh.
dentist office site.
Yeah, yeah.
Cottonwood Trails. is that
Yes.
the name of it?
Yep.
So they were out there last week
We did say they were gonna do
surveying.
it.
Did you actually give me a date for pouring concrete?
Yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
the project is supposed to begin April 1st, Tom. No, I'm just teasing.
Let's go.
April 1 is supposed to be the start of that project, so we'll
Okay.
see.
Sounds fine.
And then last thing is, our first ceremonial flag was raised last week for Black History Month on Everett.
Appreciated Megan's note.
Yes,
Thanks
that
for
was
responding.
Very kind,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all I have.
An incident in the parking lot of Gary's. I alluded to the fact that sometimes city business gets transacted in church parking lots and the aisles of Gary's, but this was a citizen that came up to me and and stated that how happy he was that the way things were going in Mount Vernon. He said there's really a neat, positive vibe in Mount Vernon. And so, thanks very much. So that was pretty cool to get, so I want to make sure I pass that on to everybody. Any other reports or anything like that?
I was gonna mention earlier, but I had to look it up. So, so through IAMU, they created a group, SGEI, which is the Safety Group of Eastern Iowa, which is, that's now our training sessions for staff. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever included anybody from council in on that, but you guys are always more than welcome to come to those meetings. It's usually 1 to 2 times a month. But what I wanted to say was, April 16th, our subject is actually emergency preparedness. So we covered that topic. And we do that one every year. So just to jump on board with what you were saying.
How many communities are in that group now? Is it growing? Is it the same original ones? Or-
Well, I don't think, I think the idea was to keep it small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because before it was, they would have trainings and like our staff might go to Solon because it's close and they cover the topics that we needed to cover. Or we would host something here, and other communities would come. And now we just have a specific person that just takes those topics, comes here every time. And it's more one-on-one, it's more detailed, they cover more, we can allow more time, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a good thing. I've kind of, when Nick was still here, we kind of put that together, organized all that with SGEI, too many acronyms. And then Nick took off on us, and so I helped kind of orchestrate that whole thing with that. And then they went through, I think 3 different people before they finally actually assigned to our quadrant, I guess. So, and we've been working well with her. However, the first 2 meetings that we had this year got canceled because of weather. And we were supposed to have one tomorrow, and that got canceled because our instructor's sister was in the ICU and she can't make it. So we haven't had any training this year yet.
Not a try.
Thanks for the update, Ellen, and keep working on it.
You bet.
Pretty getting spot out. Anything else that needs to come before this group this time? Otherwise, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. And Lori, you can make your concert.
I can, I have a jazz concert tonight with my daughter. It's only 30 though, I mean, it's go longer than that.
Until the time
Okay.
we're